We have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for portions of Wyoming and Montana. We're going to show you that in just a moment. Right now, we want to get the latest on our tropical update, and here is Dr. Steve Lyons.
Well, thanks, Janetta. Welcome to the Tropical Update. We've got some things to talk about of interest out there for most of you, I'm sure, especially if you're interested in the tropical Atlantic basin. And we've got some very interesting weather, especially when it comes to tropical cyclones. We've been looking at tropical cyclone Alex, which is a tropical storm, and we have not seen much change today. So we're expecting a little bit of a change there the next couple of days. We did see a slight decrease in the intensity of the tropical cyclone the last 6 hours. We've got system down to about 40 miles per hour now. That's just slightly below tropical storm strength. But we're still seeing some shear over the top of it, as you can see on the tropical update. There we go. There's the tropical cyclone that's moving off the coast of Africa. We'll get back to that tropical cyclone here in just a second. But this system here is rather interesting. We have a very good, well-defined low-level circulation center here. It's starting to drag some tropical moisture up there with it. Here's the latest on Tropical Storm Alex, as you can see here. 40-mile-per-hour winds. It's continuing to move to the west at about 12 miles per hour. That's been downgraded a little bit, and we expect that to continue to weaken ever so slowly the next 24 hours as it moves this way and then turns a little bit more to the northwest, what we're expecting. And here's a satellite image of it. It's dark out there now, so we're looking at our infrared satellite image. And what you see here is the circulation center's been down to the south most of the day, and it's still there, and the thunderstorm's flaring up here. The circulation center's here, expected to move off to the west-northwest the next 24 hours. Intensity rather slow. And as we move off into the central Atlantic, we've been looking at a couple of other interesting features. Of course, the low that we just saw here southwest of the Cape Verde Islands, and also a few other things as well. Up in the northwest of Alex, we see another low-pressure center just above the surface, but not much at the surface. And aircraft reconnaissance flew into that area today, and we saw very high pressures on the order of 1,016 to 1,018 millibars. So there's nothing to worry about relative to that particular circulation feature. And you can see that's this one right over here. A lot of thunderstorm activity over South Florida, and pretty much clear over the Caribbean and the central Gulf of Mexico today, other than some shower activity right along the coastline. So that's free and clear for the weekend. Don't worry about any tropical development there. We're in pretty good shape for that. Out in the Pacific, we've been looking at Hurricane Estelle. It's still going to the west at about 14 miles per hour. Now the winds are up to 90 miles per hour. And it's been really a beautiful looking storm, and luckily it's not affecting the coast right now, other than in another 6 to 12 hours we're going to start to see some swell from the storm affecting the beaches along central Mexico. And eventually, as it moves out, it may affect Southern California beaches as well. We'll keep you informed on that. You can see a very nice circulation center there, and we expect an eye to be forming there probably later tonight. Circulation is rather intense, and the forecast for it is to go
for joining us for this edition of Storm Watch. A reminder that we always have Storm Watch 10 minutes before the top of every hour. And this time of the year, not only do we check on some of the strong thunderstorms going on, for instance, into parts of the west at this hour and also heading into a portion of Alabama, but we also like to check on the tropics. So we'll start you out first with our tropical update and the very latest on what is happening first in the tropical Atlantic. A couple of different areas to watch for here, and you see a couple different swirls out there into the Atlantic at this point in time, but we are not finding really any development with this particular cluster. We go further westward, and this is our tropical storm. We've been talking about Tropical Storm Alex, and we have the latest coordinates now as of 11 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, 16.1 north, 52.1 west. That's where it's centered, about 575 miles to the east of the Leeward Islands. Sustained winds continue at 40 miles per hour. It's moving west at 13, and the estimated central pressure at 1,005 millibars. So still quite some distance from the Caribbean islands here. As we take a look at the satellite picture, lots of different things to note with this. First and foremost, that we've seen one area of convection kind of decreasing, another area increasing. Sometimes we get the diurnal effect and we get some of those thunderstorms increasing during the overnight as some of the higher cloud tops begin to cool. So we'll kind of watch that trend and see if it continues on to the daytime. But we do know that this has been undergoing quite a bit of shear, and you can see evidence of that as a lot of the cloud tops getting blown off to the north and east. And we think we've had some winds, maybe 30-40 mile per hour winds working over this area. So it really has not had a chance to really get its act together. Now there are three different scenarios that we could kind of see happening, and some maybe more than others.